Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls for adoption of future technologies for grassroots policing requirements at DGP's conference in Lucknow. Development of interoperable technologies is the need of the hour for police forces across the country, says the Prime Minister. Rajasthan Cabinet reshuffled, 15 ministers inducted in the new cabinet. Indigenously developed missile destroyer INS Vishakhapatnam commissioned into the Indian Navy in Mumbai. Centers for Nanotechnology and Indian Knowledge System at IIT Guwahati inaugurated by Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Main rail and road routes cut off in Andhra Pradesh due to heavy flood. NDRF teams deployed in worst-hit Nellore district. Indian Panorama section opens at IFFI in Goa. I&B Minister Anurag Singh Thakur calls upon international filmmakers to come and shoot in India. In cricket, India clash with New Zealand in the third and the final T20 match in Kolkata. And in tennis, Alexander Zverev ousts Novak Djokovic from ATP finals to set up the title clash with Daniil Medvedev at Turin, Italy. As India created history by administering over 110 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. Please follow these three simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today called for adoption of future technologies for grassroots policing requirements and development of interoperable technologies which would benefit police forces across the country. The Prime Minister was addressing the valedictory session of the 56th Conference of Director Generals of Police (DGPs) and Inspector Generals of Police (IGPs) today. He attended all the sessions of the conference yesterday and today also. The conference was attended by 62 DGPs and IGPs of states and union territories and heads of Central Armed Police Forces and Central Police Organizations in Lucknow. More than 400 officers of various ranks attended the conference virtually from IB offices across the country. Addressing the valedictory session of the conference this afternoon, the Prime Minister called for analysis of all the police-related incidents and developing case studies to make it an institutionalized learning mechanism. He hailed the hybrid format of the conference as it allowed free-flow information between various ranks. The Prime Minister participated in the discussion and gave valuable suggestions during the conference. In the run-up to the conference, various core groups of the DGPs were formed for holding discussions on key aspects of national security, such as prison reforms, terrorism, left-wing extremism, cyber crimes, narcotics trafficking, foreign funding of NGOs, drone-related matters, and development of border villages. The Prime Minister called for constituting a high-powered police technology mission under the leadership of Union Home Minister to adopt future technologies for grassroots policing requirements. Citing the importance of technology in the lives of general public, the Prime Minister gave examples of COVIN, GEM and UPI. He appreciated the positive change in police attitude towards general public, particularly post-COVID. He also suggested positive use of drone technology for the benefit of people. He stressed on review of smart policing concept introduced in 2014 and suggested development of a roadmap for its continuous transformation and institutionalization of the same in police forces. To tackle some of the routine challenges faced by police, he urged to involve highly qualified youth to look for technological solutions through hackathon. The Prime Minister also awarded the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service to IB personnel. For the first time, as per the directives of the Prime Minister, IPS officers from various states had submitted articles on contemporary security issues which added more value to the conference.
In Rajasthan, 15 ministers took oath in the first cabinet reshuffle of the Ashok Gehlot government today. Governor Kalraj Mishra administered oath of office and secrecy to 11 MLAs as cabinet ministers and 4 MLAs as ministers of state in a ceremony held at the Raj Bhavan this afternoon. There are 6 new faces among those who took oath as cabinet ministers, including Hemaram Chaudhary, Mahendrajit Singh Malviya, Ramlal Jat, Mahesh Joshi, Govindram Meghwal and Shakuntala Rawat. Deshpandu Singh and Ramesh Meena, who were sacked last year for adopting a rebel attitude against the government, have again been sworn in as the cabinet ministers. Ministers of State Tikaram Juli, Mamta Bhupesh and Bhajan Lal Jadhav have been promoted in the government. They were also sworn in as cabinet ministers. Zahida, Brijendra Singh Ola, Rajendra Gudha and Murari Lal Meena took oath as ministers of state. All 30 seats have been filled after this cabinet reshuffle took place when the Gehlot government is going to complete 3 years in power next month. More from our Jaipur correspondent.
Out of the 6 MLAs who joined the Congress from BSP, Rajendra Singh Gudha has taken oath as Minister of State. At the same time, out of more than 10 independent MLAs who are supporting the government, not a single one has got a place in the Council of Ministers. After the cabinet reshuffle, there are 13 districts from which there is no representation in the Council of Ministers, whereas maximum 4 ministers each have been inducted from Jaipur and Bharatpur districts. The ministers who took oath today are expected to be allotted portfolios soon. About 15 MLAs are expected to be appointed as parliamentary secretaries. 7 MLAs can be accommodated as advisors in the government. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In a major boost to the Indian Navy, indigenously developed missile destroyer INS Visakhapatnam was commissioned today by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh at the Naval Dockyard in Mumbai. It is the first stealth-guided missile destroyer ship of Project 15B and a crucial step for the Navy to demonstrate its indigenous capability to build complex combat platforms. The destroyer is capable to enhance the Navy's capacity and firepower to battle threats by a margin. Speaking on the occasion, the Defence Minister said India's defence sector is becoming more self-reliant. He also assured to give all support to Navy's all future endeavours. Mr. Singh said Indo-Pacific region is playing a key role for the world.
इंडो पैसिफिक जहां से पूरी दुनिया भर के 2/3 से अधिक ऑयल शिपमेंट होता है, 1/3 बल्क कार्गो और आधे से अधिक कंटेनर ट्रैफिक गुजरते हैं, यानी यह क्षेत्र पूरी दुनिया के अपने हितों को प्राप्त करने में एक की रूट की भूमिका निभाता है। यानी इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन की महत्ता पूरे वर्ल्ड की इकोनॉमी के लिए महत्वपूर्ण हो जाती है। इसलिए इंडो पैसिफिक को ओपन, सेफ और सिक्योर रखना इंडियन नेवी का प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव हो जाता है।
Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani has said that the next 75 years of the nation belong to the children of New India. In a tweet, she asked them to take a pledge to contribute towards a strong and developed nation. Earlier in the day, the minister attended a national workshop on child rights organized by the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav in New Delhi. Speaking at the event, Ms. Irani said that the best test of a democracy is whether we as citizens and also as a nation can deliver justice to all our children. She said her ministry has taken several steps for the protection of child rights.
हमने मंत्रालय के माध्यम से कई प्रयासों को किया है। देश की संसद में पॉक्सो और जेजे एक्ट को अमेंड करने के माध्यम से राज्य भर में बच्चों के लिए जो उत्पन्न हुई चिंतन या चिंता थी, उसको प्रतिबिंबित करने का हमने प्रयास किया है। बट सोसाइटी इज एवर चेंजिंग, administrative needs are dynamic, and hence it is incumbent upon us that we evolve with time and be ready with solutions for the challenges that present themselves.
Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan inaugurated the State-of-the-Art Centre for Nanotechnology CNT and Centre for Indian Knowledge System CIKS at IIT Guwahati today. He also released a book on implementation of the National Education Policy 2020. Assam Education Minister Ranoj Pegu was present on the occasion. Mr. Pradhan exhorted IIT Guwahati to leverage innovation and biodiversity-based research for making Northeast a hub of green energy development.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls for adoption of future technologies for grassroots policing requirements at DGP's conference in Lucknow. Development of interoperable technologies is the need of the hour for police forces across the country, says Prime Minister. Rajasthan Cabinet reshuffled, 15 ministers inducted in the new cabinet. Indigenously developed missile destroyer INS Visakhapatnam commissioned into the Indian Navy in Mumbai. Centers for Nanotechnology and Indian Knowledge System at IIT Guwahati inaugurated by Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Main rail and road routes cut off in Andhra Pradesh due to heavy flood. NDRF teams deployed in worst-hit Nellore district. Indian Panorama section opens at Ife in Goa. INB Minister Anurag Singh Thakur calls upon international filmmakers to come and shoot in India. In cricket, India clashed with New Zealand in third and final T20 match in Kolkata, and in tennis, Alexander Zverev outs Novak Djokovic from ATP finals to set up title clash with Daniil Medvedev at Turin, Italy. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मात नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मात नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. In Andhra Pradesh, situation in Nellore city and nearby villages is grim as floodwaters entered inside the city's suburban areas and villages. Several main rail and road routes in Andhra Pradesh connecting the south and east remain cut off as the Penna River in spate caused heavy destruction today. Following the situation, the Chennai-Kolkata National Highway 16 has to be closed down for traffic in Nellore district following a heavy breach of road near Padugupadu. NDRF teams comprising 60 personnel and 2 SDRF teams comprising 53 personnel have been deployed in Nellore district to handle the situation. The train services have been paralysed. SPS Nellore District Collector KVN Chakradhar Babu and Special Officer B. Rajashekhar are supervising the flood damage works at National Highway. They visited the rehabilitation centres at Kovur and Nellore, providing all the essential facilities to the affected people. The central team, led by Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Rajiv Sharma, will visit the monsoon-hit districts of Tamil Nadu to assess the damages and suggest recommendations to the Union Government. Tamil Nadu government said that the teams will start their assessment work tomorrow. While one team will visit southern districts of the state, another team will visit the northern districts. The teams will later have a discussion with the Chief Minister on the 24th of this month before leaving for Delhi. More from our Chennai correspondent.
The Chief Secretary of the state, V. Rayanbu, led a meeting of top officials of various departments along with the central assessment team at the Secretariat today. The team was given a presentation on the rains and the related challenges faced by the government like flood mitigation, management of relief camps, loss of agricultural lands, property and lives all over the state. The team had an assessment of the damages at Greater Chennai Corporation this evening. The Chief Minister has advised all the responsible district collectors, MPs and MLAs to guide the delegation through the damages in detail and also requested all agricultural unions to cooperate with the team. Earlier, a team of 6 ministers had inspected crop damages and a sum of 2,629 crore rupees has been sought for the restoration works from the union government. The state has appealed for an immediate relief of 550 crore rupees from the centre. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
Maharashtra Transport Minister Anil Parab has said that the state government is ready to discuss all the demands of the striking MSRTC employees except merger. The employees of the Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation, MSRTC, the state-run bus service, continues to strike on the 25th day today. Merger of the cash-strapped corporation with the state government is the main demand of the employees who are on strike since 28th of October. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Speaking to reporters, Transport Minister said that the government will take the report of the committee appointed on the order of the Bombay High Court to examine the employees' demands seriously. He also appealed the MSRTC employees not to listen to the leaders who are only interested in politics. He added, by doing so, the employees will put their own future in danger. Meanwhile, the statewide protest intensifying with every passing day. A 6-year-old girl gave up food and joined her father in the strike in Silod Taluka in Aurangabad district. Her courage is being appreciated by all. While a section of employees protesting at Azad Maidan in South Mumbai have reiterated that they won't bow down till the government decides on their demand of merger. Nivedita, AIR News, Mumbai.
Over 116 crore 50 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Over 10,000 new COVID-19 cases were reported in the last 24 hours, while over 12,000 people recovered. The Union Health Ministry said the COVID recovery rate in the country now stands at 98.30%, which is highest since March last year. In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Rakesh Garg, Additional Professor, Medicine at AIIMS in New Delhi, will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. The live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on toll-free number 1800-115767 and on telephone number 011-2331-4444. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR.
And now news from the 52nd edition of the International Film Festival of India, IFFI, that is underway in Goa. With a promise to unfold stories collected from nook and corners of India on the big screen, the Indian Panorama section opened at IFFI today. Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting Anurag Singh Thakur inaugurated the section. The inaugural ceremony introduced the audiences to IFFI's official selection of 24 feature and 20 non-feature films under the Indian Panorama category for this year. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Thakur said the right content can take Indian cinema to the global audience. The minister said India has the talent, technology and skilled manpower, and they can offer to the world a platform to come and film in India. Mr. Thakur also urged the international filmmakers to come and shoot in India.
ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो क्षेत्रीय है उसको राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कैसे बनाएं. And today that is possible. If you are creating the right content, then it is not restricted only to the regional language. It becomes national and international soon. We have the talent amongst us, the technology, the skilled manpower. So we can offer to the world the platform to come and shoot in India, film in India, and also to have the post-production hub in India.
Himachal Pradesh Governor Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar, along with the Union Minister, felicitated the filmmakers and the cast and crew of the opening film Shemkor, which is the first ever Dimasa language film in the feature film category, and Ved, the visionary, in the non-feature film category. At the IFFI this time, the 6th edition of BRICS Film Festival is also being held alongside the main festival, in which films from BRICS nations will be screened. These 5 countries, Brazil, India, China and South Africa, and country of focus, and 8 films will be screened under this section. We have a report.
Russian movie Dia de los Muertos, directed by Viktor Ryzhkov, was showcased in the inaugural session of the BRICS Film Festival. Special screening of Hindi film Dhamaka was organized, including an introduction of the film by key talent of the movie Kartik Aaryan. Hindi movies Andhadhun and 8 Down Tufan Mail were also screened. In the World Panorama section, Rafaela and Clara Sola in Spanish were showcased, while Hungarian movie Damnestiu was shown in retrospective category. Assamese movie Virangana and Gujarati movie The Spell of Purple was the attraction of Indian Panorama's non-feature section. Late James Bond star Sean Connery will be paid a special tribute at the event. Actors who passed away this year, including legendary Dilip Kumar, Kannada superstar Puneet Rajkumar, Surekha Sikri, Sanchari Vijay, and filmmakers like Buddhadev Das Gupta and Sumitra Bhave will also be honored at the event. India's official entry to Oscars, Kudangal, directed by Vinod Raj PS, is competing for the ICFT UNESCO Gandhi Medal at the event. With Aarti Rana, Tripti Srivastav, AIR News, Delhi.
In other events of the day at IFFI today, the National Award-winning film director Madhur Bhandarkar took a masterclass on filmmaking. In his interaction with the budding filmmakers, he said that aspiring film directors should have strong conviction in their stories to bring out a good film. A masterclass was also held with the Master of Cinematic Arts and the National Award winner Prasoon Joshi. But the highlight of the day's event was the unveiling of the 75 Creative Minds of Tomorrow competition. The competition brings together 75 of the brightest creative cinematic minds of the country. 16-year-old Aryan Kumar, a class 11 student from Bihar, is the youngest of the lot. In the press conference, he spoke about how his interest in films grew over years.
Thanks to organizers and ministers for providing such opportunities so that I can attend this festival. और मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि मैं क्लास 11th का स्टूडेंट हूँ और मैं फिल्म मेकिंग में अपना करियर देख रहा हूँ. तो यहाँ पे जितने भी 75 मेंबर्स आए हैं वो सारे बहुत अपने फील्ड में बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं और सब बहुत एक्सपीरियंस है. तो उनसे इंटरेक्शन हो रहा है, कॉन्टेक्ट नंबर शेयर हो रहा है, इंस्टाग्राम आईडी जो कि मेरे काम आएगा आगे.
Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Anurag Thakur, congratulated the young minds. He said that they were selected from across India for their outstanding talent by an eminent jury.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
November 21st is the birth anniversary of the great freedom fighter, revolutionary and poet Kesari Singh Barhat. He was born on November the 21st, 1872 in Shahpura, Rajasthan. Kesari wrote extensively on the theme of nationalism and independence. From 1891, Kesari Singh started working in the service of Maharana of Mewar along with his father, Krishna Singh Barhat.
Due to increasing political interference of the British in the administration, Kesari Singh led the service in 1893. He believed that by organizing common soldiers, Rajputs, Charans and other martial races of Rajputana to take up arms, Rajputana would become free from the British rule and this way revolution would spread to the rest of India.
He came into contact with revolutionaries like Ras Bihari Bose and Sachindranath Sanyal. Kesari Singh became a part of the Revolutionary Party. In 1910, Kesari Singh established Veer Bharat Sabha. He got involved in this work at the beginning of the World War I to prepare for the armed revolution. He sent a parcel of cartridges to the revolutionaries of Banaras and contacted the soldiers of princely states and the British Army.
Kesari Singh was arrested by the British government in Shahpura on 21st of March 1914 and was sent to Hazaribagh Central Jail in Bihar. After his release in April 1920, Kesari Singh went to Wardha, where he started a weekly newspaper, Rajasthan Kesari. In 1919, Thakur Kesari Singh Barhat met Gandhiji and on his advice established Rajasthan Seva Sangh at Wardha. Next year, it was shifted to Ajmer. Thakur Kesari Singh Barhat breathed his last on August the 14th, 1941.
21st of November is also the death anniversary of the revolutionary freedom fighter, journalist and legislator Deshpandu Gupta. Born as Ratiram Gupta in 1901 in Panipat, he was given the title Deshpandu by Swami Shraddhanand and Mahatma Gandhi. He was a member of the Arya Samaj.
During his teenage years, he would often take to the streets during protests. After joining the Indian National Congress, he grew closer to the top brass of the party, including Lala Lajpat Rai and Mahatma Gandhi. Lala Lajpat Rai assigned him the task of organizing Congress committees in Karnal. Gupta was a member of the Constituent Assembly. He was a staunch defender of the free press and an advocate for assembly status of the national capital of Delhi.
He started the Rozana Tej newspaper with Swami Shraddhanand. Together with veteran journalist Ramnath Goenka, they bought the Indian News Chronicle in Chennai. Gupta passed away on 21st of November 1951. After his death, Ramnath Goenka renamed the newspaper as the Indian Express.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News. India Post has joined hands as a logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 88265 46262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared tomorrow in the Morning News. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
World Television Day is being observed today. Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati in a tweet said this World Television Day also makes a major transition to Doordarshan as we bid adieu to the era of analog terrestrial TV transmission and take steps towards direct-to-mobile terrestrial broadcasting. Director General of DD News and Doordarshan, Mayank Agrawal, has also extended his greetings on the occasion. He said, as India's public broadcaster, Doordarshan is proud to have led the movement of bringing the world to everyone's homes. In December 1996, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 21st November as the World Television Day, commemorating the date on which the first World Television Forum was held in 1996. In cricket, India has set a victory target of 185 runs before New Zealand in the third and the final T20 encounter at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata. Opting to bat, India scored 184 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Skipper Rohit Sharma top scored with 56 runs off 31 balls, while Ishan Kishan made 29 runs off 21 balls. For New Zealand, Mitchell Santner took 3 wickets. India have already gained an unassailable 2-0 lead after winning the second T20 in Ranchi on Friday. In tennis, the third seed Alexander Zverev defeated world number 1 Novak Djokovic of Serbia in 3 sets to set up a title clash with Russian Daniil Medvedev at the NATO ATP Finals last night at Turin in Italy. The Tokyo gold medalist Zverev edged Djokovic 7-6, 4-6, 6-3 in the semi-finals. With this victory, the German avenged his US Open semi-final loss to Djokovic. The Russian cruise passed Kasper Ruud 6-4, 6-2 to enter the finals. Zverev will face Medvedev in the finals tonight at 9:30 p.m. Indian time. Union Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur today said that Uttar Pradesh government has done a wonderful work by felicitating the medal winners of Olympic and Paralympic Games. Virtually addressing a gathering on the culmination day of Sansad Khel Mahakumbh in Basti district of Uttar Pradesh today, Mr. Thakur said that many districts of Uttar Pradesh make sports equipments and it has given a new identity to the state on world level. He assured that very soon an indoor stadium with modern techniques and facilities will be constructed in Basti district. The Adi Mahotsav is on at Delhi Haat in New Delhi till the 30th of November. It has been organized as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav week celebrations of Tribal Affairs Ministry launched to the 15th of November by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. 15th of November has also been declared as Jan Jatiya Gaurav Divas. Authentic tribal cuisine is a major attraction of the ongoing Tribes India Adi Mahotsav. And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have mist. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers, while Chennai is expected to witness generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. Jammu, Srinagar, Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. In the northeast, Guwahati, Imphal and Shillong will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of light rain. Aizawl, Kohima, Itanagar and Gangtok will have cloudy sky with rain. Agartala will have fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls for adoption of future technologies for grassroots policing requirements at DGP's conference in Lucknow. Development of interoperable technologies is the need of the hour for police forces across the country, says the Prime Minister. Rajasthan Cabinet reshuffled, 15 ministers inducted in the new cabinet. Indigenously developed missile destroyer INS Vishakhapatnam commissioned into the Indian Navy in Mumbai. Center for Nanotechnology and Indian Knowledge System at IIT Guwahati inaugurated by Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Main rail and road routes cut off in Andhra Pradesh due to heavy flood. NDRF teams deployed in the worst hit Nellore district. Indian Panorama section opens at IFFI in Goa. I&B Minister Anurag Singh Thakur calls upon international filmmakers to come and shoot in India. In cricket, India clashed with New Zealand in the third and the final T20 match in Kolkata. And in tennis, Alexander Zverev outs Novak Djokovic from ATP finals to set up the title clash with Daniel Medvedev at Turin, Italy. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.